Peace, y'all. It's your boy Hess, and 2023 is coming to a close. And I wanted to share my top 5 of my favorite albums of the year, my top 5 favorite albums of 2023. That album that's held a special place in my particular heart and served as a way to just kind of get through the everything of the year, right? Now, the criteria of these albums for me is really based on just, a few factors that are really important to me, not only as a music listener, but as a creator of music as well. Looking at the songwriting, looking at the production, the quality of the music that was made, the storytelling, everything that was embodied, the conceptualization, all of it that came together to make these albums what they are. And what they were for me, and also replay value. If I can't replay it, if it can't go on loop in my head, then I don't know. It may not be a classic, but for me, these albums top my charts, my triple hess charts. So now, keep in mind, these are in no particular order. I'm just sharing it as it is. So let's get into it. Labyrinth ends and begins. Now, listen. This album, bro, this is an album that when you want to talk about replay value, it's something I've had on repeat for the entirety of 2023. To me, it's so well put together. It's so unapologetic, not only just as a black creative, but really just as a creative in general, period. It pulls no punches in just doing what it wants to do, or rather, Labyrinth doing what he wants to do. But as an album itself, as a piece of art, to me, it literally is the embodiment of art. It's created with it's no lines or rules around what production is, what it should begin or end, right? No pun intended. Just how it's created, carefully crafted, the emotion it brings, the passion behind the production, the soundscape, the sounds that were chosen, the construction of each particular song, how it all flows together in general as well. It just is, to me, and the songwriting is I think it's just awesome, right? He paints such a vivid picture with every song. And it's just really, literally, well, I mean, I say nothing, it's not in any order. I say like this, literally my top album of the entire year. So flat out, I'll start out with my top album of the year. It goes to Ends and Begins by Labyrinth for sure, 100%. If you haven't listened to it, whether you're a Labyrinth fan or not, you haven't listened to it, please go listen to that album. I choose to not steer you wrong in that. It's just an amazing album. Subtract, I guess Minus by Ed Sheeran. I've been a fan of Ed Sheeran for a long time. His type of work, his songwriting, his singing abilities, everything is like his musicality. And Subtract to me, or Minus, I think it's called. I think it's just a really great body of work, a very emotional body of work, right? Of course, it touches on a lot of his personal, dealings with, loss and grievances and, being a single father, like all these different pieces or what have you. It really touches in some great ways, like the emotion, and gets really raw and deep. And I'm a fan of that type of music because when you're able to get that raw and deep in your authenticity in the way you're creating, it just builds something special that people can relate on whatever particular level, even with whatever they're going through at the moment. I may not be going through something deep and grieving in that particular moment. I'll definitely have my moments, right? Because not every day is a good day, right? And but it is something that when you don't have those good days, you can put it in and kind of gives you that feeling of like not only just somberness, but you can kind of just be with your feelings, be with your moment, and push forward by the end of the album. So it's definitely one of those that's special to me. Between that and Ends and Begins really helped shape my 2023 as far as musicality and just creativity and thought processes around songwriting, everything. I think those two so far just been really great albums. So Subtract or Minus by Ed Sheeran is my other pick for 2023. Georgia Smith's Falling or Flying. Now, this one came out like not too long ago. I think like maybe October, something like that. But it's solidified its place for me. Like I've had this on repeat. Again, that's a really important factor for me. That if I could put an album on and just have it go, then it's solid in my book. And Georgia Smith is one of those albums, among the others, that really I was able to, just have on repeat. The production is crazy to me. Her songwriting, her voice, her vocal range, it puts you in a certain type of space, and the emotion behind her singing and the passion behind it, mixed it with the production. It's just to me, it's just a perfect marriage, and it's just a beautiful album. You know what I mean? Falling or Flying is definitely an incredible track. Itself, the title track. Try Me is freaking nuts to me. I love that. From start to end, the beat is amazing, and of course, the singing. And it's just a really great album. This one comes up fresh. It is Chronicles of a Diamond by Black Pumas. I think that just recently came out as well. I took a good listen. I've heard of Black Pumas a few years ago. I'm gonna say many, like it was like 10. It was like maybe a few years ago, maybe right before the pandemic. I heard of Black Pumas, and I love the soulful. It's like a modern soulful take, which I know there's a lot of that's kind of flowing and building in the musical landscape lately. A lot of funk, a lot of soul. It's bringing its way back to the forefront. Shouts out to those artists bringing soul back to music, because I personally feel soul has been lacking a lot of music lately. A lot of it sounds like it's going through the motions of just being music. Can this be a hit? Crank out, wash, rinse, and repeat, and it's just creating more of the same, of just lackluster, in my opinion, lackluster music and songwriting. And Black Pumas, again, the soul and the richness and the funk of the album from beginning to end, just something you just put on and just vibe out with. Definitely one that I would have on repeat. And like I said, it's still fresh for the year, so I definitely can get some more spins out of it. But if I had to go with building a top 5, because honestly, my top 5 it was easy in the sense that there really hasn't been much, in my opinion, that's come out this year that's been pretty strong. But it's not to say that these are just good enough. These I think, are just great and monumental albums. And to me, so far from what I'm feeling, Chronicles of a Diamond is one of those up there for this particular year. And last but not least, of course, the man who's been just shaking up the game right now, Andre 3000, with his new album, New Blue Sun, his flute album, his instrumentation album. And I think for me, I love the daringness of being heralded as one of the greats in hip hop. Arguably for a lot of people, he's their number one. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time as far as lyricists and hip hop is concerned. The embodiment, you think of hip hop for a lot of folks. So to be daring enough to be like, I'm gonna make an album and it's just going to be instrumentation of stuff that I've been trying out. I love the daring quality of that. I love the courageousness of doing that. It's something that sits next to me because I love creating in that particular way. I don't like the idea of being defined in some type of particular box. If music hits me, I'm going to create the music that hits me and what makes me feel the way I feel. So, giving that, I love all types of music. If it's good and hits to my soul, and like I said, the writing is great and the musicality is great, then that's what sits great with me. It could be bluegrass, it could be hip hop, it could be whatever it is. If it hits, it hits. And to be daring enough to make an album like that, and just something that you can just put on and vibe out, right? And people say, oh, well, it's not the greatest fluting and whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? It's not like it's just the flutes. It's supported by more instrumentation, but I think the whole accompaniment, the accompaniments as a whole in the entire album puts you on a journey, puts you in a particular space that I feel is really cool, and I love that. The titles are all just kind of like feelings versus like, here's a quick title. It's like, here's a whole sentence of just what I was feeling when I made this song. So I love, again, the creative nature of it and the freedom to be. To me, it's an album that says I'm free to be who I am as an artist, as a creative, as a human, and to move and stretch myself into new spaces and new heights, to pivot in a way that is authentic to me and authentic to what I'm feeling in a moment. Will he rap again? Who knows? That's a whole other conversation. I can get into that in another video. But at the end of the day, from what this album has been, to me, it's a big kudos. So definitely one of my top 5 picks for this year. And that's it, y'all. This is my 2023 top 5 album picks. Who are you picking for your top albums for 2023? Let's see what you got. Talk to me. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this list, if you want to hear more lists from me, make sure you like, comment, share, and follow the page. All right? One love, family. Talk to you soon. There's more to come. Peace.